Welcome, DriveLiners. It's a Sunday morning. We had a little bit of issue with the server this morning, and I had a minor freak out. And the best solution when that happens is not to react. I made that mistake. There's another Corvette going by. And I made that mistake and overreacted to what turned out to not be a problem at all. So, lesson learned, don't send emails, don't react, just wait. Nearly a decade and a half in the financial sector, unfortunately, you get used to just pulling the trigger when you think something's wrong, and you don't necessarily wait, because usually it's people's money on the line. Let's face it, this is an app for going on mapping your favorite driving roads. I hate the idea of anybody ever opening the thing up and not being able to do what they wanted to. The reality is, I should have just waited on that. So, if you got an email from me, I apologize. That uncalled for didn't need to happen. I wouldn't say uncalled for. Uncalled for is kind of like I sent something in a drunken rage. More of, yeah, telling you the server was down and it wouldn't be back up till noon. Turned out to be, no, it was actually a 20-30 minute fix. Holy crap. There's actually, I know that looks on purpose. You guys can't see this, but there's an upside down car in the parking lot of the local fire department. And while Jeremy Clarkson insists that every firefighter has rolled his car at least once, that doesn't look like a roll. That looks like they actually turned it over and put it up there that way. Likely because they're probably practicing with the jaws of life or what to do in the event somebody rolls over. I love going out for a drive because you do get to see things that you might miss. So, the other reason I'm out today, one, to take a breather, take stock and realize it's not that bad or that important, or worrying about nothing, is that I also want to test this because I feel like I need to start doing more in terms of keeping the community involved as well as how to reach out to a wider audience. So part of that is doing a daily vlog. Now, I think I could do this on my alternate iPhone and just capturing it at a real high, nice resolution, and it'll look and sound good. But I figured, you know what the best way to test this is? Go out in the vet, which is the noisiest car you own, with the top off. We'll try the windows up because I'm getting on the highway here, and see how it looks, see how it sounds. So we're gonna go for a drive, and I am actually got the camera positioned in a way where it looks like I'm kind of talking to you, but I'm not. I'm actually looking out at the road ahead. So this is a little bit about where we're going next with the company, what's going on, and what we hope for. So, if you've been following us on our many social media platforms, well, I wouldn't say many. You're probably following us anywhere. You're following us on DriveLine, or you're following us on Instagram, because that's where we are most of the time. You'll know that we've been running promotions to make everyone aware that we finished version 3.0. There are a lot of new great functions, and that we've worked out a lot of the bugs that were in a lot of our prior instances. We are troubleshooting a few minor points that are left, and we're going to add in a few new features. One of them is the ability to search other users, which is something that we hadn't done in the past. So I think that's going to be a nice add-on. We've gotten that request from so many people. The other one is, and it's a real funny one. I'm sorry, it gets too hot in this car. I got to put the windows down. Is the ability to update your username. Okay, this is something we never considered in any of our builds, and recently we've been getting a few folks asking to be able to make that change. As a result, we're going to add that feature in. I don't think it's going to be in this next update, but it'll be in the one following it. Beyond that, one of the other things that we're working on is, for this next update, is the ability to, that's right. It's one of your complaints, or not even a complaint, it just seems to be an email question support keeps getting, which is, how do I search? Could I see the drives that are closest to me? Oddly enough, that's in the Explore function. But I realized something. I've got 7 people who've emailed me the same question. We should probably change the label on Explore to search. That way it's really obvious. Because part of the feed is not just to show you what's near you, it's to show you the activity of the whole community. And eventually, I think we may use a proximity for that, or let you set your own proximity. But right now, with only 8,000 members, we want to show you everything that's going on. So as a result, we've shown everything. I agree that Explore could be improved, and quite easily, by simply changing Explore to search. I've got a little bit of an open runway here, so... Oh, I love that noise. Downside of this car, as much as I love it, I've made so many changes to the motor. Kind of point out that the manifold doesn't come on peak flow till 2200 RPM. And with the new and updated cylinder heads, I'm not really on power till I get around 3200. So, with a 5000 red line. So, it's 1000 to 3000 happens kind of slow, and then 3,000 to 5,000 happens in the blink of an eye. So, but it sounds amazing when you do it. But the other thing I'm always concerned about is, as loud as this car is, every cop in the world knows you're coming. And that's the sound of it at peak boost. Well, not boost, but at peak spin. So, yeah, I love this car. It's great. Fixed a lot of the suspension problems in the last go through, which was changing out all the degraded rubber to polyurethane. And that has really improved the handling of the car. I mean, look, it still doesn't handle as good as a modern car, and I've driven the new Vet. I know, I'll absolutely attest that it's an old car. It's never going to be as good as its modern counterpart. But in so many ways, it's so much better. In the sense that you really feel connected to it. So, back to DriveLine stuff. We've had a huge spike in our membership. We've added 1,200 new members in the last month, and that's our biggest single month increase. That was a steady increase. It wasn't like a single drop response to a sponsored video. And we're really pushing to keep that going. Part of that is going to come from the fact that we're going to continue to do a lot more marketing for the firm, but also to grow, we've realized that we're going to have to raise money. And part of raising that money is to go out, and you can go to look for angel investors, a bunch of rich guys to give you some cash, and then to give them away a huge percentage of the company. And I'd rather not do that. So instead, we're going to raise a little bit less than I think we could raise if we went to a private offering. And instead, we're going to do what's called a Reg CF offering. Now, having been in finance, I understand this principle, but I'll kind of, for those who haven't wasted years of their lives in investment banking, allow me to explain. Reg CF is basically regulation crowdfunding. Regulated crowdfunding with the SEC. And the reason to do that is that it allows you to issue shares. Everyone knows what Kickstarter is at this point. And Kickstarter, I can give you something, right? If I'm creating a video game, hey, I'll give you an early release copy. The problem is this isn't a video game. It's not really something that DriveLine could give you to incentivize you on an investment in exchange for your investment. And we could just ask for money, but I don't really believe in doing that. So instead, we're going to try something else, and that something else focuses on essentially issuing shares. So we are going to issue shares that will be purchasable through what looks like it'll be a company called WeFunder. And what WeFunder does is it allows us to offer a very specific class of share called let's go this way. I've never been this way before. A very specific class of share called a safe. Now, a safe is... Ooh, this is just somebody's driveway. Well, fuck me. SAFE is a security assurance for future equity. So, I'm sorry, security agreement for future equity. What that means is it is a share that will allow you to convert it to an actual, it's considered a promissory share, that allows the user to, the owner to convert it to real stock at some point in the future, when we go public or we sell the firm. So the advantage is our members will be able to own a piece of DriveLine. And we're gonna go through the process of making that available to everyone. Likely again through a firm called WeFunder, which looks like a really great company, and it should be a great opportunity. So we look forward to that. So thanks. And thanks for tuning in, and I hope this recorded well, and we'll actually be able to use it. Later.